Mic check one, two. Back in the building. Back up in this peace. In this biatch. What we got for y'all today is the 10 minds. Now, I get these from the Japanese Buddhist master Kukai from way back in 774 CE, the common area. So the year 774. Now, these 10 mind states are also known as the stepping stones to enlightenment. And this is from the Buddhist tradition. Okay, so I'm going to go nice and slow through these 10 minds so that by the end of this video, you will at least have the first step or the first concept that is necessary to to defend yourself from mind slayers. And so if you're just now figuring it out, this video is dedicated to people who want to defend themselves against mind slayers. So I guess we'll start off by talking about exactly what a mind slayer is. A mind slayer is a person who is capable of destroying you with a word or with a thought. Mind slayers are your local CEOs or your local, I guess you might say, governors or politicians. But really, a mind slayer could be anyone, but they tend to be people who have power. Sometimes they do operate anonymously. I guess you could say that I am a sort of mind slayer, although I'm slaying your mind in a good way. I'm actually killing the weak mind in you and reinstilling or reinstalling a strong one. And it really happens to be oversimplified because I'm giving you 10 different minds on this episode. Okay, 10 different minds. All right, so I guess the best way for me to start this off will be to say, I guess just give you some more insight on what I mean by mind slaying or mind control. And so I'll just say, let me quote this. Okay, you have to use your imagination before you're forced to use your desperation. Okay, now imagination and desperation are very, very similar. I think a lot of people would consider you desperate if you imagined doing something with them. For instance, these hoes, these bitches on Instagram might think that you are some sort of a weirdo if you tell them that, hey, I imagined being with you, lady, because you've been showing your ass and I've been seeing it and I liked it. That could be considered desperate. Very well might be. But what I want to press you to do for this, for the remainder of your life, actually, to use your imagination and never have to rely on your desperation because desperation can get really ugly really fast. Okay. Now, before we go ahead and before we go on and proceed here, what I want to mention is flat Earth. I want to mention that I guess if you guys don't know, the motherfucking Earth is flat, and by flat I mean it's a disc. It's a dish. It's something that is more or less flat, but it's certainly not a ball. Certainly not a globe. So for anybody who's tuning in here who believes that the earth is a globe or a ball that is spinning and all of that, you might as well fucking leave right now because I don't have time for your bullshit. I don't have time for your bullshit. Just get the fuck on. I'm not trying to teach you. This is not for you. This particular message is dedicated to all of my people who can understand that the earth is not moving. Okay? If you think that the earth is moving, please take your craziness on to another location because we don't want you here. You understand? Get the fuck on. Anyway, let me be nice because this is a really deep psychological lesson. This is deep psychology, and so you can consider this a school of thought that we're walking through right now, and it's both mystical and secular. Okay, so we're dealing with the secrets of the seinen, or the ancient Japanese. Well, they're not so ancient, but the old Japanese fucking ninjas. That's what we talking about. We talking about some ninja shit in this bitch. Right, some ninja shit, right? I don't give a fuck what y'all think if you don't like ninjas. You just don't like ninjas. But I like ninjas. I am a fucking ninja. I'm the master ninja. And I'm about to put you on some fucking techniques. You know, if you can make it through all the curse words and make it through all the bitches and hoes that I'm about to present to you before I fully explain this shit, then you gonna be blessed. You gonna be blessed. You gonna be a little motherfucking Naruto or some shit in this bitch after I get done with you. Well, at least you'll have one good technique. But there will definitely be more techniques to come. I actually might. Well, anyhow, let's go ahead and get this thing cranking. So I want everybody to suspend their disbelief. Right now, I just want you to all just suspend your disbelief, just for a quick, just for this remainder of this video. I want you all to suspend your disbelief. Erase your motherfucking mind and act like a baby. To enter into the kingdom of God, you have to have the mind of a child. I need you people to just simplify your shit. Stop acting like you know something. You don't know a goddamn thing. Just calm down and just clear your motherfucking mind. Clear your mind. Is your mind clear? Okay, that's great. And the reason I asked you to do that is because I don't want any of your past life or your past trauma affecting how you take in this new message. It really has nothing to do with your past. This new message has all to do with your future. Okay, I want you to go far, and I want you to remember me. But if you don't, who gives a fuck? Doesn't matter. It's a free video on YouTube. And if you had to watch a commercial to get here, then just fucking leave now and come back and I don't know. I don't. Yeah, you shouldn't have to watch a commercial. I need to tell them to take off all these damn commercials from this channel. I don't want any ads running on certain videos, right? Because this is not for those people to be making money off of and deceiving motherfuckers into clicking on links that I don't even approve. I approve whatever ads gonna be running on my shit. I don't want really random fucking ads, some stupid ass bullshit. What kind of they, whatever. Anyway, by the way, y'all, if you can't tell, I'm over the YouTube ad shit. I don't give a fuck about views or nothing like that now. It's just you take the blessing, you take the message from the king if you want it. If you don't want it, get the fuck on. Okay? Get the fuck on. So, and you have suspended your disbelief. You realize that you don't know a goddamn thing. Now let's put something in there. Let's put something in there. So the first and the lowest and the weakest level of mind that exists in this particular 10 mind system is known as the goat mind. Right? That's right. The mind of the goat. Yeah, the goat. Okay. Now mind sayers love to push you down to this low state of mind. The goat mind. What is the goat mind? The goat mind is the mind that takes everything literally. It's a literal thinker. It's just really fucking stupid. It's just, I mean, it's loyal. I mean, it'll do some shit for you, but it's very stupid. Like it's just, it's just very literal. It's like, I guess you can relate it to um, a person with a very low IQ. You say, you might give them something to do, um, like paint the house, and they're so fucking stupid that when it starts raining, pouring, you know, they still are outside painting even in the rain. They're just that fucking stupid that they continue to paint in the rain. Like they don't have the intelligence um, to adapt or to change it. They just do whatever the fuck that they were told to do. The goat mind is easily led. Easily led. It's a fucking goat. You just put it, wrap some shit around the fucking neck of it. You pull it. Yeah, it might be a little stubborn, but for the most part, it's easy to lead a goat. Just rope his ass up and walk him. But that's the lowest mind that you can have in this system. And that's the mind that they want to keep. Who is they? What do I mean by they? I'm talking about the powers that motherfucking be. Now, if you don't know what I mean when I say the powers that be, get the fuck off this channel right now. Because you need to go do some homework. You need to go grow up. Obviously, you're not even 18. Let's get the fuck out. But just the powers that be want to keep you in the goat state of mind. And that is taking everything literally. So every time you hear me say motherfucker, it wants you to take that literally. It wants you to say, he's talking about fucking his mother. No, you dumb bitch. I'm not talking about that. Every time I call you bitch, you actually think I'm calling you some kind of dog or some shit. Every time I call you nigger, you actually think that I'm talking about a nigger. See, that's what a goat mind is. It takes everything literally. I might cuss your ass out. Goat mind is offended. I might actually give you a compliment. The goat mind is thankful and happy. It's bullshit. You can butter up a goat-minded individual very easily. You can give a goat mind $10 and it'll be your best motherfucking friend for life. That's bullshit. Okay? But every mind has its place. And of course, you know, I myself, slip down to the goat mind every once in a while. You know, every once in a while. I do. The fucking goat mind. But it's a really miserable place to be. Um, but that's the place that if you can get a person to the goat mind, like if you were the offense, if you were the offense in a conflict, then the goat mind would be um trying to get your enemy or your opponent. You want them to start taking everything literally. Like that's literally how you can fake somebody out. Like if you're playing basketball, you have to access a person's goat mind. How? Okay, what you do is like you run up to him, you do a little jug. He thought you were going that way because he took it literally. took it literally. He thought you were going that way. He took it literally. You faked him out. You tricked him because he's taking everything fucking literally. This is the weakness of the goat mind, that it takes everything literally and it thinks literally. This is the this is the weakness of the goat mind. Although um, it can still be, it still has its strong points. Something, I guess one strong point of the goat mind would be, that is going to is going to do that little simple shit. If you get a gang of goat-minded motherfuckers, you can destroy some shit. So like if I really were trying to just seize power or something, I'd find like 1,000 goat-minded motherfuckers and just command them bitches to attack and it tear some shit up. Right. Anyway, but a gang of goat-minded individuals would do nothing to a group of fools. And that is the next level of mind, the fool's mind. So you have the goat mind, then you have the fool mind, the fool's mind. The fool's mind. Oof. Now, a fool will destroy a goat. Why? Because the fool is just so goddamn stupid that he can't even do regular shit. You know what I mean? So that's what makes him have a higher mindset, because he basically knows how to go on his own path. Even though that path might be dumb as hell, but he's not gonna just sit around, you know, because he's just a fool. Um, but I guess the other way that you could interpret it is that the fool mind uh, is someone who is trying to be moral, or someone who is maybe, I guess, afraid of punishment, or someone who um, believes in a ritual. Like if I wear my lucky socks, I can go on YouTube and make the best motherfucking video that I've ever made in my life. The fuck does your sock have to do with it? Well, that's how a fool thinks. Fools think that shit that doesn't make sense makes sense, and that's just how they work. You know, more powerful than a goat. You see, in a way, I assume that everybody's a goat in the first place, because goat, it could has potential for growth. And once I see that the goat is not so literal, they know how to see a little bit outside of the obvious, which is the whole fear from God thing and the whole striving to be moral. That shows that you are at least starting to use your imagination. Um, okay, so we're seeing how imagination is directly linked to power when it comes to the mind. And so in a way, imagination is the currency of the mind. Now, how many of y'all fucking with that? I'm gonna need you to leave a message in the chat, say something on the chat. Um, if you are here while it's live, just say something. Press a one, press a two, press a three or some shit. Just let me know that you can hear my voice, that you know how to type. Okay. So the first, the first, okay. So basically, yes, a fool strives to be moral. And really, just think about that in a world where morality, well, in a world where people are just doing all kind of stuff to get what they need, morality is just retarded. You'd be a fool to try to follow all the exact rules. Now, don't misunderstand me. Come on. If you follow every single rule to the T, you're just a fucking fool. Because there's so many people around you who are not following the rules to a T. And for the most part, they're gonna beat you every time. Now, if they're a goat-minded individual, then of course, yes, you will destroy them. Like if they're taking it literally, then yes, you will destroy them. But you get destroyed by everybody else who is not trying to be moral. Think about it. How does a non-robber defeat a robber? How does a non-thief defeat a thief? How does a non-killer defeat a killer? They can't. They can't. Takes one to know one. Takes one to catch one. You got to be a killer to catch a killer. You got to be a monster to catch a monster. You see? So that's a concept that the fool's mind does not understand. Fool mind says, "Hey, God is going to get you. God is going to get me, especially if I do something. If I just say bitch, then lightning is going to strike me down." That's what a fool thinks. Okay. Now, I'm not saying you should be immoral or do things that are just wicked for no fucking reason, but you have to understand that in this world, sometimes you need to just stop thinking about right and wrong, and you just need to do what the fuck you need to do, or else your ass is gonna motherfucking die. How about that? How about that? Yeah, your ass gonna motherfucking die. And that's it. End of the story. No more mines. You made it to the second mine. The food's mine. That's it. No more. Supposed to be 10, it was just two. Nah, I'm not gonna do y'all like that, but I have to act this out for you so you can understand this. Gotta add a little bit of drama to this so you can understand this, so it can stick to you, so it can become a part of your subconscious. Okay. So, goat mind, then the fool's mind. All right. Now let's go to level three mind. Level three mind is the child's mind. Now, why is the child's mind more powerful than the fool's mind? Well, the child's mind is more powerful than the fool's mind because the child has made a religion out of all of the rituals that they used to do when they were fools. And they've actually also combined it with the goat mind and the literal mind. So that's mind number one plus mind number two equals mind number three. Okay, one plus two equals three. Mind number three, child mind. And it's just a combination of the first mind and the second mind. Okay. They made a religion out of the rituals that the fool used to do. So that means they're not even really into the ritual. They don't really care about it. They just doing it. So maybe one day, they used to think that the lucky socks mattered, but now they don't necessarily think they matter. They just do it because it's part of the religion. It's like another thing. It's an everyday thing just to let your nuts hang. That's it. Just it's a religion now. It's religion. Um, So the reason why the child's mind is more powerful than the fool's mind is because it actually incorporates the goat. It incorporates the goat's mind as well. So, um, whereas the fool is completely caught up in, invisible things like morals and um, punishment from God or punishment, well, punishment can sometimes, I guess, be visible, but you know, just the notion of punishment, just be, worried about all that shit, worried about punishment and shit. What are they gonna get me for doing? No, that's foolish. Rituals, stuff like that. See what the child does is they combine all of that. So now they have a literal religion. So now it's like, whereas maybe the fool understood that it was just a ritual they was doing to psych itself out, maybe, to a certain extent. Now the child is like, look, this is the way it is. And everybody needs to do it like this. Matter of fact, the whole guy, like it's a basketball team. The whole basketball team needs to wear these same kind of socks. And if you don't, I'm going crazy. That's the child mind. See, they take the religion literally. Now I say that a lot of people are in this particular mind state. This is kind of where a lot of people just relax at, the mind state of the child, where they have taken their little religious symbols or they ritualistic practices, the different rites, and they actually believe that it is real and it's literal. Okay. So, the reason why a lot of people don't settle at that particular location I was in of mind is because I think, it's a safe level. It's a safe level. As long as the religion is good, or from a subjective point of view, as long as the religion is not bringing direct harm to the user of the religion, what's the point of changing? So the level 3 mind is a pretty powerful mind. If you can have an army of children, you have a pretty strong army, and it's been known to be pretty effective. But it's troubling when people do it. When people have, when they teach children to shoot people, teach people, teach children to steal, you know, teach children to cuss a motherfucker out. You know, you, they create a child army, where the child army is more powerful than a fool's army. I take an army of children over an army of fools any day, because a fool gonna fuck up everything. The child, because he has the power of the goat, meaning he can take everything literally, and he also has the religious aspect. As long as the child believes in me, he's gonna do every fucking little thing that I say, or that you say, whoever the commander is, whoever the leader is, whoever the authority figure is for that child. You see, go ahead and leave it in the comment. You see, I got the comments posted up right there, so that everybody can see. But so far, none of you are commenting. Okay. So the next mind state is well is ultimately where the fool's mind and the child takes over, becomes the dead man's mind. Okay. The dead man. Just think about that for 1 minute. That's right, the dead man's mind. Yep, think it deep. Think about it deeply. The dead man's mind. Try to imagine, based on this pattern that we've already established from the goat's mind to the fool's mind to the child's mind, how the dead man's mind might be. All right, all right. So the dead man's mind. So I think you thought about it long enough. So I'm gonna go ahead and make it clear to you. But before I do, I want to show you guys the moon. You see that? Show you guys the moon and star. Looks like that moon is waning at this point. So get on, continuing on. I think we were at the dead man's mind. Or the dead man's mind is the mind state that is always afraid of something. So it's similar to the fool's mind. And remember the fool's mind was afraid of punishment from God or from man. Dead man's mind is just afraid of worried about like dying or word, just worried about other things that relate to their mortality or to their status. So a dead man's mind is like an elevated fool's mind. Right? They don't do things because they're worried about being hurt. Now, army of dead men is actually pretty damn powerful. In a way, that's what the police are. And we know that that's a very powerful force. Now, the higher these minds go, the harder it is to maintain an army or a group of people um, together with these same mind states. Because the higher the minds get, the more they're independent, by the way. So the easiest army to build would be a goat's army. The second easiest would be to build a fool's army. Third thing to build, the third easiest army would be, and this is where it gets a little difficult, would be the children's army. The fourth type of army that you could put together would be one where you try to raise everybody to the mind of a dead man. What is a dead man? That's just someone who is just so aware and so conscious of their life or their death. They're so worried about it. They're overconscious. Like a dead man won't do a certain thing or will do a thing a certain way just because he's worried about getting hurt, worried about dying. At least this is the claim of the state of mind that some people make, some police officers make. They make, they seem like they may be afraid, and so that's why they approach with extreme caution, and they take motherfuckers down with extreme prejudice. And so, yeah, an army of dead men sounds pretty cool, but it's actually pretty fucking threatening. And so, anything beyond the army of dead men is going to be a hard, hard army to maintain. I would say that if you were to rank some people, or put people into their certain position, I would say that anything underneath a dead man's mind, or anything underneath a dead man's mind, and including a dead man's mind, would be would have like the rank of a private. You know, the one with the dead man's mind. Might be a high level private, a private first class or some shit. And then but when we get to the fifth mind, then I say we would get to our first sergeant. Uh, and the fifth mind is the mind of. Wait, let me do. Let me remember this. This is the. So we start. We have the ghost mind. We have the fool's mind. We have the child's mind. Then we have the dead man's mind. So the fifth mind is the no karma mind. Is the mind state that does not really believe in morals. It doesn't believe in you know God in a way. It more so believes that for every cause there is an effect. And so it don't believe in karma per se, but it does believe that if you do something, then it will have a consequence. So they understand that a lot of the power is in their hands, and this is why this is could be ranked as a sergeant, because this is the first state of mind that actually understands that some of the power is is in their hands. In fact, it understands that maybe it's possible that for all the power to be in his hands. But quite often, a person with the no karma mind doesn't have what it takes to assume all power, but they do certainly have what it takes to get the basic, uh, median for all power. So the no karma mind state, cause and person that believes in cause and effect, understands that if you want to have a good fight in you, you have to have trained. Understands that if you want to have known something, you have to have studied or searched or learned. It's not about karma, it's about what it is you do. Your, the no karma mind is the mind that says, look, it's not about what some spirit or some mystical thing is doing to me. It's about what I'm choosing to do. And that's halfway motherfucking right. So, thus, we have the no karma mind. And that might actually be what my mind state is. Now, we have several ways to determine what your mind state is. Uh, but we'll cover that in the end. We'll cover that in the end. I'm gonna make you suffer through this whole thing. So you have five minds to work with now. If you don't know, now you know. You have five minds to work with. That's half the damn battle. If you could understand these five minds, you have everything it takes to be a sergeant in the army of the Lord. Okay, but I think that really the people who I think most naturally um, gain this fifth mind are women. To be honest, it's the no karma mind. Women really know how to understand that it's about what they do, not necessarily about what a thing actually is. So, but we're not going to get into that. I'm not going to get into that. The next mind, after the fifth mind, is the sixth mind, and that is the compassionate mind. The compassionate mind is a mind that really understands others or seeks to understand others. So it's a step up from the no karma mind. No karma mind is saying, look, it's about what I do. But the compassionate mind is it's about what I do for others. So of course the compassionate mind would dominate the no karma mind. And so therefore we can go ahead and just say that the compassionate mind, or being that is very compassionate, would make a good lieutenant. Right? They have the ability to understand that what I do for someone else is really what matters. It's not really about what I do for myself. That's a compassionate mind. That's a high level mind. That's what I would call the first. Well, of course, the um, of course right. So the mind of so the no karma mind is a high level mind. The first, like I would say, truly high level mind is the compassionate mind, and that's the mind that you find most blue pillars at. You find most blue pillars are there. Now, like I was saying, most red pillars I would say are around like the child's mind, child's mind. I didn't say that, but now I'm making that clear. For the most part, the average good red pillar is at the child's mind. I mean, no, 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 blue pillar. The average blue pillar is at the child's mind, and the average red pillar is at the compassionate mind. See, that mind is, and so really, that's the dynamic. It's a median. Things go back and forth. And they both take turns using the goats and fools. Okay, so the of course the the third high level mind would be the seventh mind, and that is the unborn mind. Now, the unborn mind is a very powerful mind because it's basically, I guess you'd say, skeptical of everything. But it is similar to the compassionate mind in that it puts uh, everything else before itself. So the unborn mind is very, I'd say the word for unborn would probably be best spoken as just kind of like selfless. So they're not so, I guess, subjective when it comes to their compassion, perhaps. The unborn mind is a person who is not biased or is less biased, being that operates from like a place of maybe like just, I guess, kind of like parameters. It's a complex being. The unborn mind is a very powerful mind, and it's actually the best type of mind state to try to maintain because mind states are difficult to maintain if you have if you haven't ever tried it, but it's a pretty difficult thing to maintain. So, um, so basically, you know, the unborn mind understands at war. I guess you could say they may not have a religion, but they certainly believe in God and luck and what is it? Fate. Believe in fate. So the unborn mind is a person who certainly, but they instead of just being compassionate about just like trying to understanding others, they actually shift their focus to things like God and things that are more powerful than themselves. So not just about others, but actually about others that are more powerful than them. So unborn mind is like just saying, look, I'm not even a factor in this. There are things that are greater uh, afoot than me. So I'm really just not even born here. I'm not even a player here because I'm not born. So it's the unborn mind. Okay. So the next mind after that, uh, so well, yeah. I guess you'd say like so perhaps the unborn mind would be could be anything like maybe you know anyone who believes that they are blessed even though they don't do anything religious. Right. So the eighth mind are those minds that what we call them the single truth mind. Single truth. And these minds are very cerebral. So they basically are the ones this is the eighth mind. So these are ones who basically guess do algorithms and shit. They Uh, they use logic. They use real logic. Um, and I guess you could say, they do equations, right? This is what the single truth mind does. They're into like mathematics and shit like that. They're very cerebral. Um, I think that's a mindset that I stay in, or I try to stay in, but I think I settled at around 7. This is kind of like I guess, a mystic IQ test or self-examination. I actually might come up with some sort of way of assessing a person's mind level, and it's on a 10-point scale. Of course, with goat being the bottom, followed by um, the fool, then the child, then the dead man. Well, that's the fourth one, and then the no karma mind, and then the unborn mind, right? And then the single truth mind. Now, single truth mind is a very powerful mind. Somebody who I'd say is at probably at least at 120, 130 in standard IQ terminology. Uh, you know, it's possible for the eighth mind to get there, but uh, it's pretty sure, it's pretty certain. I'd say it's pretty safe to say that the level 8 mind or the single truth mind is where you get into the high IQ individuals. Um, so the single truth is the beginning of just the geniuses. Okay, some people know how to access the single truth mind easily. Others have to try very hard to get there. Uh, Pretty much like me. That's why I'm having to say all this stuff to you. Pretty slow, or slow, then fast, and pause and think. Like all the pausing and thinking is when I'm accessing single truth mode. uh, and I guess you could say it's a sign of just me not talking about this that often. But it's kind of like once you know certain things, you just know them. So just like walking in the park somewhere, taking a walk down the street. So after the single truth mind or the eighth mind, we have the ninth mind. And the ninth mind is known as, I guess you say, no mind. And the no mind is the one who only puts others in front of them. Like they don't even pay attention to themselves at all. Um, Very hard mind level to say, and it's actually what they call the no self mind. And so it just takes compassion to a whole other level, um, because compassion is more of a feeling, right? Compassion is more of a feeling, but but I would say that when you get to the mind state of the no self mind or the no mind, No, the no self mind. The ninth mind is the no self mind. Once you get to that level, you actually, it's just, you put others first. You would let someone eat before you know, you would make sure, like you would actually probably even risk your life to help certain individuals, right? No self mind, very high level of mind. Um, I say that, there are a lot of police officers who also have the no self mind, and that's what will make a great police officer or good police officer. Be someone who has the no self mind, meaning that they're not egotistical. They are just ultimately just trying to help other people, not harm them, but help them. So that's a very, very high level of mind, and it takes basically a genius to do it. So, you know, pretty much look up to any good police officer as a genius. But the bad ones, they would fall at a lower level of mind. Probably, like we said earlier, the dead man's mind. Right? Right? So, the next level of mind, the final, the 10th mind. So we made it all the way to mind 10. And after the no self mind, it's like kind of tough. Right? Can't really top the no self mind, but the last thing that does actually top it is known as the secret mind. Right, the secret mind. And what the secret mind does is it is not attached to anything. It's not attached. It's not involved. It's not moved. It's secret. So you just won't know what it is. And this is the highest level of mind. So with these 10 levels of mind, you always know who you're dealing with. Either they are a goat or they are a secret if you do not know them. So as you get to know them, little things can tell you whether or not you need to increase them from a goat to a fool, or whether you need to reduce them from a secret to a no self. no self mind, right? And you narrow it down. You start with two possible answers, either 1 or 10, based on intuition or randomness. You choose either a 1 or 10, and as signs are shown, you either increase or decrease. This is the art of Jujushin, the 10 minds. Okay, so we can take any individual at any given time, describe their mind state with one of 10 terms. And that's just the way it is. One of 10 terms. We describe a person's mind state at any given time. We start by defining ourselves, our own mind state, and then we determine another's mind state. And we begin to do this anytime we get to think. It's good to think on your feet, but if you cannot think on your feet, then you need to take your sitting down moments and think on your feet. Well, think of your feet in your mind while you're sitting down. But think about what mind state you are in. And if there is someone around you, attempt to identify the mind state that they are in. Okay. For instance, you might be in a house and there's some other people there, 2 or 3 people, um, and say that your mind state is, let's give it a secret mind. It's 10 or 1. It's a secret mind. All right, so not attached. All right, it's a secret mind. All right? Say that the other person is maybe an unborn mind. Then say that the third person there is maybe say, hmm, if it's not another unborn mind, let's give it maybe one level down, which would be the compassionate mind. Right, compassionate mind. Yeah, right. Compassionate mind. So 6. So yeah, we got a 9. Say for instance you had a situation where there are 3 people, one with a level 10 mind, another with a level 7 mind, and another with a level 6 mind. What do you think will happen in a situation like that? Do you think the level 10 mind would dominate the level 7 and the level 6? Well, if the level 7 and the level 6 work together, then that would be a level 13 mind altogether, right? So that's because the mind is connected to the body, and so if there are actually two bodies, then how could it not be more intelligent? Or whatever you mean the word existence, how could a thing exist more so? Because that's ultimately what a battle or a fight is. It's about showing existence, or existence over or on top of or more so, or in opposition to someone else. Okay, so let's say for instance that that level 10 mind decide to, you know, get to be together with the level 6 mind, or level 7 mind, whichever one would be 17 or 16. Then of course that would defeat the other mind instantly. So, but then if they all decided to work together, then it would create a mind level of 10, 16, 17. No, no, right? 23, right? Yep, 23. A level 23 mind frame out of 3. Pretty good. But level 23 mind frame, it's pretty powerful. Okay. So these are the 10 minds of the Juju Shin, or the of Master Kukai of the of Japanese Buddhism. Right?